Everything you do online, it's gonna stay there. Welcome back to the Share Goodness Show. This is episode 7, Sharing the Gospel When You Lack Influence. I know that this is very common to think that you need great power and influence to share the gospel, whether it's online or in person, in your community. But we all know deep in our hearts that that is not the case. We need to recognize that we don't have a gospel that requires us to have great power and influence. We tend to think of great scripture missionaries and prophets who converted thousands by their influence and by their power. But think about today, we have thousands and thousands of young missionaries who go out in the world and are sharing the gospel. We have stories that we listen to at General Conference of regular, everyday people, just like you and I, who are changing lives, even if it's one person at a time. So what I want to talk about today really quickly is the ripple effect. If you are concerned that you don't have enough influence to share the gospel or to even change one life, it happens when we don't even realize it. So the ripple effect is when you think about yourself, think about the people in your inner circle, whether that's your spouse or your children or your siblings or your coworkers. People in your inner circle are people who you interact with every day or most every day. Then when we talk about the ripple effect, we're going to think about the people in their inner circle. So your spouse, maybe it's their coworkers or their siblings and family. Maybe it's your children's friends at school or coworkers. Maybe it's your coworkers, friends and families, the people who are in their inner circle. And if you think about it, it just keeps going and going. And so your example and influence, though it may only influence a handful of people, which is probably not the case, but even if it does, that can carry on and on and on and on, just like a ripple. So I want you to remember 2 things from today's short little episode. Number 1, you don't have to have great power and influence to share the gospel. And number 2, you probably have more influence than you think you do. So continue doing the small things, sharing the gospel and being an example of Jesus Christ through your actions and through your words and through what you do, which is actions. So I'm repeating myself. Continue to do that, because your example, even though it may only influence a handful of people, it will continue to influence many more, maybe even generations, because everything you do online, it's going to stay there. And you never know when it will change somebody's heart down the road. So thanks for being here. Make sure you tune in to the next episode. It's going to be episode 8, How to Share the Gospel Online Without Sounding Preachy. I'm really excited to talk about that. See you next time.